So this story takes place back in either late 2020 or early 2021. It was around that time in the pandemic where things were opening up and you could actually go outside again. And it was around this time that my dad really wanted me to get a job. Like, you'd think my life depended on it. He made me apply to pretty much every possible place that had a now hiring sign. It did not matter what the place was. It could have been some sketchy chicken restaurant used as a front by the cartel to sell crystal meth. If they were hiring, my dad was making me apply. And pretty much with all these places, my applications pretty much went nowhere because I either got outright rejected or ghosted. I only ever got one actual interview, and funny enough, it was at the first job I applied for, but then after that I never heard from them again. But there's this one specific fast food restaurant my dad made me apply for, and that is where this story begins. And I'm not even going to say the name of it because the name's not important, so I'm just going to call it this fast food restaurant. So one day my dad finds out that this fast food restaurant is hiring, so of course he makes me go down there and get a job application so I can apply. So I go down there, I get the job application, and then I go home and fill it out, and then my dad tells me to go in there the next day and try to speak to the manager so I can apply for a job. So I wake up the next day and I drive down to this fast food restaurant and I walk in the door, and immediately upon entering, my nostrils are viciously violated with the worst stench I have ever smelled in a fast food place. I mean, I wasn't expecting this place to smell like a candle store or anything, but this smell was so freaking bad you would think something died in there. It was horrific. So immediately upon entering, I want to turn around and go home, but I just decide to stick through it, and I walk up to the counter to the guy that's there and I ask him if I can talk to the manager so I can apply for a job. And the guy tells me, oh yeah, sure, but it's going to be about 10 to 15 minutes. If you want, you can wait by the entrance. And I'm like, alright. So I walk over to the entrance and I just sit there waiting. And as I'm standing there whilst inhaling the toxic fumes, I see the door to the kitchen and I notice that every time it would open, the smell would get worse. So I don't know what freaking biohazard they were cooking up in there, but I'm honestly surprised a health inspector wasn't called, or maybe one was called. I have no idea. I haven't been back to this place since this story happened. But anyways, fast forward 15 minutes, I go back up to the register and I tell the guy, hey, it's been 15 minutes. Is it okay if I talk to the manager now? And then he says, oh yeah, sure, let me go get her. And then he goes over to the drive-through window, and then I see the manager walking towards me, and she is this super old woman who's walking towards me at a speed of like 2 miles a day. In fact, this woman was so old, she had the guy that I was just talking to help her walk towards me. So after a bit, she gets in front of me and I talk to her about wanting to apply for a job, and she speaks to me in the quietest, softest voice I have ever heard someone speak to me in my life. So already it was pretty difficult to understand what she was saying, but this combined with the fact that it was already pretty loud in the restaurant because I think it was around the middle of the day, made it almost impossible to hear what the manager was saying. In fact, I'm not even going to describe how our conversation went. I'm just going to visualize it through really crappy stick figure drawings, so enjoy. Hi, yes, I'd like to apply for a job. I'm sorry, what was that? I can't really hear you. Sorry, could you speak up? I can't understand you. That's pretty much how it went. So after a couple minutes of this, I think I said something along the lines of, alright, I'll be waiting for a call back, see ya. I honestly forgot what I said, but after that whole awkward exchange, I just left this fast food restaurant and started driving home. And as I was driving, I was just slowly processing what happened because it was so bizarre. And as soon as I got home, I immediately went and told my parents because I thought it was really funny, and now here I am telling the internet. And that is where the story ends. It has been a fat freaking minute since the last time I did a story time video, so I figured I'd just drop one out of nowhere. And this is a story I've been wanting to tell for such a long time, but I just kept putting it off because I was being super lazy. But today I just decided, you know what, screw it, let's make the video, and here we are. And that's gonna do it for the video. Thank you for watching, and yeah, peace.